and Manuel Soto Diaz with the Office of the Public Defender.
All right, sir, please tell me your name. Tell me your name.
Junior Fernando Jauregui.
All right, Mr. Haragi, you're here in 2019 CF 9487AO. You're arrested for burglary of a structure, criminal mischief over 1,000. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to return back to, Sazone's Buffet and Grill at 701 West Lancaster Road. You're not to have any contact with any witness, victim, or your co-defendant, Mr. Alvarado. And you're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay set at 3,500 on count 1. I am gonna stay the bond on count 2 at 1,000. You're out on release in 2019 CF 7703AO. I'm revoking that release and setting it at none.
Tricia Brown is mental health counselor. Stephen Alvarado is Spanish.
Okay. I'll go to courtroom 2. All right, please tell me your name.
Orlando de Jesus.
Mr. De Jesus, you're here in 2019 MM 5537AO. You're arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with anyone at the Publix at 400 East Central Boulevard. You're not to return back there. And unless there's an offer, which I haven't received any offers on the petty thefts in a while, so I'm
There's
not
not.
asking, okay. So, and your bond will remain set at the 250. All right, please tell me your name.
Courtney B. Ashby Jr.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 9485AO. You're arrested for, it's like, possession of synthetic cannabinoids. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Does he has not been interviewed for pretrial release?
Correct.
Okay. So, I'm gonna reduce the bond to 500 or PTR if he qualifies. So they're gonna interview you. If you do qualify, you're
Okay.
not to possess any illegal substances without a valid prescription, okay?
Okay.
They may do random urinalysis and testing on you. If they do, if you get in, I'm just forewarning you, that if you violate any of those conditions and violate any of what they want you to do, they can advise me or another judge and we can revoke your release, okay? If you
Okay.
get into the program.
Okay, so what do
Okay.
I do from here?
They're gonna interview you. If not, you do have a bond of $500, okay?
So who's interviewing me?
The jail staff will come see.
Oh, today or some other time?
Yes.
Okay, appreciate that.
All right, sir, please tell me your name.
Franklin Bruce Rule Jr., ma'am.
All right. Mr. Rule, you're here in 2019, CO 721AO. Your attorneys have filed a motion for release on your own recognizance or in the alternative to continue the finding of incompetence and place you on conditional release. And so I've reviewed the motion and the attachments. Mr. Diaz,
That's correct, Your Honor. I believe there was a prior court on June 26th that found him incompetent.
right,
there was-
and am I supposed to go, there's no indication in the motion where he would live, with who, because the evaluation by Dr. Tate indicates that he's not able to care for
restored.
himself. Well, or care for himself. So, apparently, there's two different addresses on the orders that were attached to the motion. One is, they're just two different addresses, so I'm not really sure where he would live or with whom. So the order from, and I believe that there's an additional, so you have the order from December 20th, 2018. That was signed by Judge Jewett, which indicates that he would live at 3115 Center Street. Then, in 18 MM 341AE, that's the case in which Dr. Tate did the evaluation, back in 2018. And I don't have that attached. I have the evaluation. I have no, and that just indicates that he would live at 3115 Center Avenue, which is that same address. Then I have an order from December 23rd. I'm guessing, oh, well, that's a status hearing. So on June 26, 2019, Judge Cameron indicated that he would be living at 18 North Terry Avenue. So where is he gonna live?
Well, 18 North Terry Avenue, Your Honor, I believe is the address for the Coalition for the Homeless.
Okay, so he's no longer gonna be living pursuant to the other orders at the Center Street? I'm just confused.
Well, I just asked him, and he told me he doesn't know where he's gonna live, and so, and he's
Well,
telling me
this
that
was
he's...
only a couple days ago that this order was signed.
Yes, Your Honor, but I guess our position would be he's homeless, so unless he's staying at the Coalition for the Homeless,
What's the 3115, what was that address?
I don't know, Your Honor.
I'm charged, no, I just got soliciting charges, right?
Yes, hold on a second.
Has he been evaluated since Dr.?
Just 1 second, give me 1 second.
But this incompetence is dull because that was way in about 2012.
That was
and
September
2013.
22nd,
Last September, I
2018.
left there. I was facing felony charge, I went to DOC. So I don't know where this incompetence keeps on popping up at. That was once upon a time, but that is not my status right now. I have been confident because, you know, you don't leave that state hospital, sir, until you're confident to withstand trial.
Is the state gonna be filing information on county ordinances? Because I've been told by other ASAs that
That's what I'm in here for, soliciting
the
of some
state
type.
files
Violation of Orange
information
County
on the
ordinance.
COs.
Correct, the state files information on the COs, the MOs are the city's cases.
Okay, so,
Now, I don't know whether or not the state will choose to file on the CO. But we do file on CO cases.
okay, so, I mean, the, there's just a lot of, a couple of days ago, an order was signed saying where he was gonna live, and now he's saying he's not living there. He's not gonna
No,
live
but
there.
I think the order recognized that he was homeless, so,
All right, well, I'm not gonna put him on conditional release, he's already on conditional releases, I'm just gonna ROR him.
okay.
Cause I mean, I'm putting these people on these plans that are, there's no plan. There's no conditional release plan. I don't even know where he's gonna live. I mean, it's,
Well, he's required not to possess any weapons or
well, he
firearms.
keeps getting arrested, that's part of the plan. I'm just saying, there's no plan. So-
I know it's frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and, you know, so,
But unfortunately,
I
we're
mean,
left
if
with
he's
few good
deemed
options.
incompetent for, you know, and it not restorable, and all these cases are likely gonna go away, clearly, so I'm just not gonna place him on conditional release when I don't even know what kind of a plan I'm putting him on. So it's an exercise in futility, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm gonna release him on his own recognizance. Cause your order that you have attached, the order that you have attached says 3115 Center Avenue. The order from Judge Cameron a couple days ago has a completely different address. It's just frustrating.
Do you want me to send up another order, just releasing him ROR?
That'd be great.
Okay.
So we ready today or tomorrow, sometime this, for this,
Yes, probably in the next few
Ask
hours.
her, how we get into this incompetence thing, because that keeps on popping up. I mean, usually I just, get like a 5-day, or the most I ever got since 2010 was 15 days for a solicit charge. We'll address
Huh?
that, but we can't
Well, it's
address it
just
right now, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, because this is a stalling tactic. All right, thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Roy, take care.
So I'm gonna release him on his own recognizance, and, Mr. Diaz, when I get your order, I'll sign it.
Mr. Sullins is a refusal.
Okay, he's refused, and I believe the state provided me additional
Yes, Your Honor. I gave a copy
supplemental
to the defense.
information. So, we'll call him at the end because I think, what was the reason yesterday?
We couldn't figure out which defendant was charged with which drug, whereas when you look at the supplemental report, it shows that Mr. Sullins was charged with cocaine because there was a pipe that was found where he was seated in the vehicle, and then it field tested positive for
Huh?
cocaine.
Oh, it's attached to it? Okay. All right, well, was he here yesterday?
Yes, he was present yesterday.
Okay, but he's refusing to come today. Okay, well, we'll address it at the end, and then I'll have an opportunity to read the supplemental report. So we'll recall this one because he's refused to come to court.
Okay.
Also, Your Honor, you have Mr. Robert Wilson. He should be the last one. Is that
Okay. Is this Mr. Wilson?
Yes, I
Oh,
am.
okay. All right, Mr. Wilson. You're here in 2019 CF 9466AO, and you were arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver in an
That's-
open container.
That's a lie. I was
Okay, well-
smoking it. I don't sell
Okay,
weed.
Mr.
But
Wilson.
why you gonna
you
put
have-
that on me?
Mr. Wilson, please stop talking. You're not helping yourself. Anything that you say can and will be used against you. Okay? You have the absolute right to remain silent. And I think Mr. Diaz would probably tell you to remain silent and not say anything, okay? 'Cause it's not gonna help you. I am gonna appoint the public defender. I do find probable cause for the listed offenses. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I am gonna stay the bond at 1,000 on count one. I'm gonna ROR him on count two, okay?
I pick up my stuff. I pick up my stuff. And,
Once you bond out, they'll give you a copy.
but I can't get the property bond out until I get the property. Oh, you want me to use my credit card?
You can look. Come with Mr. Baker.
All right, please tell me your name.
Algernon Jamal Baker.
All right, Mr. Baker, you're here in 2019 CF 9503. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant which probable cause was previously found for petty theft, 2 prior convictions. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to go back to Hobby Lobby at 1440 North Alafaya Trail or have any contact with any victims or witnesses at that location. And I'm gonna stay the bond at $1,000, excuse me, and it looks like you do have a hold for Manatee County.
Yes, ma'am. I had got transferred here, so I was wondering, would I be able to get transferred back, or do I have to stay here?
I don't
bond out.
know, yeah. I think if you bond out, they'll transport you back.
Okay. What she did?
You've been asked to come back, because
Yes.
another judge wants to see you. After
Yes.
you see the judge, if you bond out, they'll send you back to Manatee County.
Okay.
All right, please tell me your name.
Eric Barrios.
All right, Mr. Barrios, you're here in 2019 CF 9493. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant which probable cause was found for robbery with a firearm and battery. And I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you as a punishable by life felony. State, did you want to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor, if you look at the 4 corners of the affidavit by Detective Lawyer Clybourne, it looks like the victim met a female on Meet Me, an app. When he went to the female's residence he was given, 2 Hispanic males approached him. One pointed a brown shotgun at him saying, "Give me all your stuff." They took the plastic bag from him, which had alcohol and tobacco products. He was struck on the back of the head as he tried to run away. He received staples in his head at the hospital where he was transported to. The victim was able to identify the female that he was supposed to meet up based on the app, and somebody he had seen or met up with previously and dropped her off at that address. Through Facebook investigation, they were able to identify this defendant as one of the defendants that were present during the robbery. Based on that, Your Honor, we would request the defendant be held at no bond, no contact with the victim, no contact with the co-defendant, no weapons, no firearms.
Mr. Diaz?
Your Honor, nothing with respect to whether the proof is evident or the presumption is great. I would like the court to consider those setting conditions of release nonetheless.
Okay. Based on my review of the affidavit and the state's recantation of what's in the affidavit, I do find proof evident presumption great. I am gonna hold Mr. Barrios at no bond on count 1. Count 2 is gonna be set at $1,500. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, no contact with any listed victims or witnesses or any co-defendants. No possession of any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And that's it. All right, please tell me your name.
Dontavius Collier.
All right, Mr. Collier, you're here in 2019 CF 9457. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant which probable cause was found for robbery with a firearm. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and again, this is a punishable by life felony. State, did you want to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor, we believe that Mr. Collier should be held at no bond. Looking at the four corners of the affidavit of Detective Pappas, it looks like this defendant met up with the victim trying to sell her iPhone. During this meeting up, another suspect joined the first one and pointed a black automatic handgun with the victim, demanding her to hand over the phone. The first defendant, I believe that's Mr. Collier, asked her to unlock it, remove the iCloud account so he could look at it. The victim was able to provide Facebook conversations. Even after the robbery, she was able to speak to, I believe, this defendant, who tried to distance himself and gave the name of the second person that was present, the one that had the gun. He asked her not to press charges. The victim's child was also in the car. Her daughter was in the car at the same time. During this, we would ask that no contact, no weapons, no firearms, no drugs, no alcohol, and he be held at no bond.
Mr. Diaz?
Nothing at this time from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, based on the state's recantation as well as additional information that is in the warrant affidavit as to identification, as well as the fact that there were photographs of him wearing the same shirt as he was wearing in the robbery from his booking photo from the same day, and that he was working in concert with Mr. Robinson. I do find proof evident presumption great, and I am gonna hold him at no bond. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, no contact with the victim, witnesses, or any co-defendants. And he may not return back to the Park Hamilton Apartments. Is there any other, and no drugs either? No illegal substances without a valid prescription. I believe he's also on probation as well.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Cameron Constant.
Mr. Constant, you're here in 2019, CF 9500. You're arrested for possession of MDMA, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bonds will stay set at $1,000 on count 1 and $100 on counts 2 and 3. You're out on bond in 2019 CF 8010AO. I'm revoking the bond and setting it at none on each count. Please tell me your name, sir.
Cody Emerson.
Mr. Emerson, you're here in 19 CF 9101. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for trafficking in heroin, 14 grams or more, trafficking in heroin, 4 grams or more, sale of a counterfeit substance, sale and delivery of heroin, sale and delivery of heroin, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription, not to possess any weapons or firearms or ammunition, you're not to have any contact with any listed witnesses or any co-defendants or co-conspirators. And I'm gonna stay the bonds, count 1 and 2 at 200,000, counts 3, 4, 5, and 6 at 150.
Your Honor, would you consider lowering the bonds on counts 1 and 2?
I don't know, I don't have the huge MBI packet, I have
know.
no idea what happened, but I'm assuming that if it's Judge Wilson that signed the warrant, that she reviewed all of that and determined the bond was appropriate, so,
I just don't know how we have 2 counts of trafficking, 2 additional counts of sale and
Well-
delivery that didn't result in an arrest. I just find that odd.
did you read the affidavit?
I did not. That's what I mean. I don't know how,
Well, my guess is that the events occurred between November 8th, 2018 and February 7th, 2019. So there was obviously a long surveillance period, and it's likely that there were controlled buys or that happened, that they watched an individual for a long period of time. That probably the reason why it didn't end up in an arrest. That's my assumption, having not read anything, but having read a lot of these cases, it's usually how it happens. So today I'm not gonna reduce the bond. I don't know any facts other than I have the warrant and that's it. I'm
Okay.
unable to get anything else. All right, please tell me your name.
Buster Gordon.
All right, Mr. Gordon. You're here in 2019, CF 9516AO. You're arrested for sale and delivery of cocaine. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay set at 15,000. You're out on bond for the same offenses plus trafficking and MDMA, 2019 CF 6606AO, I'm revoking the bonds and setting them at none. He does the PD in that case.
okay.
All right, please tell me your name.
Shavaya Howard.
All right, Ms. Howard, you're here in 2019 CF 9528AO. You're arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. I do find probable cause for the listed offenses. I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return back to the Walmart at 3101 West Princeton Street or have any contact with any listed victims or witnesses there. I am gonna stay the bond at 1,000. You're also here in 2016 MM 4930AO. You're arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for a pretrial conference on November 10th, 2016. And it looks like your bond was forfeited, but the judge gave you a new bond of $2,000. I'm gonna appoint the public defender if they haven't previously been appointed in that case as well.
Your Honor, I briefly spoke with Ms. Howard before court, and she was telling me that she's going to have difficulty bonding out because I guess there's a mix-up with her address, or she's having trouble providing sufficient collateral, which is usually only a requirement for out-of-state defendants. And I believe, do you live in New York now? You don't? Okay.
Well, she does.
She does not.
Well, I can't change the capias, so.
I was hoping the,
Right, now so she has a petty theft pending. She gets arrested on another petty theft. Her bond could get revoked too.
her bond was revoked, the failure to appear?
I understand, I'm talking about the new law. She's out on release for a petty theft with over 100, that's the other case,
Mm-hmm.
right? She then is now arrested on a new law violation. Technically, I could revoke her bond.
Well, I think your auditor knows how I feel about that.
Right, I
but-
do, but, so I'm not gonna change the bond. She's lucky she has a bond, and then I'm not gonna completely revoke the bond.
Okay.
And if I didn't say it, no contact with any witnesses or victims at that location, no return back. I think I did say that. All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you.
Good luck, Ms. Howard.
Please tell me your name, sir.
Jason Christopher King.
Mr. King, hi, good
Hi.
morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Jerry Sessions. This is my first opportunity to appear before you. It's a pleasure.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Mr. Sessions, are you here? Do you file a notice of appearance in the case?
Judge, I've not had the opportunity to do
Okay,
that.
are you gonna represent Mr. King though?
Well, that's my intention, but at this point, I can only represent to the court that I'm attorney for this hearing only at
Okay,
this point.
okay, my problem, if you're not gonna enter into, this is a punishable by life felony,
Understand?
so it's possible that he could be held at no bond. I'm not saying that that's the case.
Yes, sir.
So unless you're planning on, representing him for the entirety of the case, then he would be sitting in there possibly without a bond, without an attorney. That's my only,
Judge, it's my intention,
okay.
but
all
we
right.
haven't had the
Because
opportunity
it
to.
could be that I just set a DOC hearing if that's the case, and then we'll, in a
Well-
week or so, because,
Judge, I understand exactly what you're
Yeah.
saying. I fully intend to represent Mr.
okay,
King.
all right. So, Mr. King, you're here in 2019 CF 9525 AO. You're arrested for burglary of a conveyance with an assault or battery. I do find probable cause, and Mr. Sessions is here representing you today. And this is a punishable by life felony. State, did you want to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor, I will leave the state's gonna request a $20,000 bond after reading the affidavit. We won't ask for no bond. We will ask that the court find a proof evident presumption rate, but just use its discretion. No contact with the victim, no weapons, no firearms. I believe in the police report it does say that he may have his concealed weapons license or own the firearm based on reading the affidavit. We would ask to surrender any weapons to whatever the local agency is within 24 hours of his release from custody, and no return to that Winn-Dixie shopping center.
I'm confused about what you're talking about with the firearm.
It says that he pulled a firearm on the I'm sorry.
I think it
Oh, I'm
was
sorry,
with
it
the
was the
victim
correct.
that threw,
I apologize,
yeah, okay. I was confused because I wasn't alleged that he had the firearm, so, okay. Mr. Sessions, did you all talk about the bond, or?
Judge, we did. I just had a very nice conversation with Ms. Swanson. We were naturally, my client would like an ROR. I understand on a PBL, that's not realistic. We're requesting a bond of $7,500. I can tell you that Mr. King has been here for, he hasn't owned business for the last 5 years. He's lived with his fiancee for 9 years. He's got ties to the community. He's got no criminal record that I'm aware of or the state is aware of. Judge, something significant. He pays child support and participates in raising his son with his mother. He's never been accused of failing to comply with a court order. And obviously, the court understands the significance of that, I'm sure. Judge, also, he has long-term plans to go to New York with his son and his fiancee this Thursday to come back Sunday. We've requested he be allowed to travel if the court is going to allow him pretrial release. As far as the
Well,
bond,
he's not, yeah, I mean, I don't have problems with him traveling or anything like that.
okay.
As long as he goes to court and, so, I,
Judge, we'd request a bond of $7,500 if
Okay.
the court.
all right,
Sounds
and
appropriate.
state,
State
They-
was 20.
right, and based on my review of the affidavit and the independent witness's testimony, you know, I do find the proof evident presumption great, but I am gonna use my discretion and grant a bond. I don't think $20,000 is inappropriate, considering the facts and the circumstances of the case and the, punishable by life, possible sentence. So these are gonna be the conditions of your release. You're not to return back to the Winn-Dixie. I don't know if that's the 2960 Curry Ford Road, but that parking area, that parking lot area, you're not to go back there. You're to surrender any firearms within 24 hours or any weapons that you may have. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or ammunition. You're not to have any contact with any victim or any witness as alleged in the affidavit. And I think that was it, so, but I don't think 20,000 is an inappropriate bond,
I understand.
okay?
Your Honor, if I could be heard on just one more point.
Sure.
The business that Mr. King owns is in that shopping center. And that's why he was there. And,
I see,
So we would
okay,
ask for only being there during whatever his business
Yeah.
hours are.
so,
okay,
for work purposes.
for work purposes.
Okay, so
Thank
we'll
you.
just make sure that the court minutes notate that, but no contact with anybody that's listed in the affidavit, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Your Honor, have a good day.
thank you. And you plan on filing your, no,
Yes, Judge.
just in case he can't make a bond, that's my promise
understand.
that we end up losing people and then they're just sitting there.
I'll do that today.
Okay, all right, thank you,
Thank
Mr. Sessions. Nice meeting you. All right, please tell me your name. Sarah Klepper. All right. You're here in 2019 CF 4745AO. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for your case management on June 28, 2019. The judge revoked your bond and set it at none. Does she have the PD? You do have the public defender in that case, and they can file any appropriate motions for you, okay? You can't do anything about the capias. All right, please tell me your name.
Larry E. Bouquet.
All right, ma'am, you're here in 2019 CF 9527AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. Do you find probable cause? I am gonna appoint the public defender's office. No drugs without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay set at 1,000 on count one. I'm under reduced count 2 to 100. And I'm not gonna take any action in 2019 MM 333480, but Miss, is it Lucate? If you come back again, it's possible your bond could get revoked on both cases, okay?
Okay.
All right, please tell me your name.
Herbert Mitchell.
All right, you're here in 2019, CF 7321. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant which probable cause was found for grand theft third degree and retail theft of $300 or more by coordinating with another. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim or anybody at that location at the Kate Spade Outlet at 4959 International Drive. You're not to have any contact with any co-defendant. Looks like Miss Shanta Williams. And the bonds will stay set at 500 on count 1 and 1,000 on count 2. And you're out on bond 19 CF 6266AO. I am revoking that and setting it at none.
It's there, right there, so go ahead and take a look at it. I think it looks through this, okay? Still like Mr. Mitchell.
Which bond did she revoke?
This one right here.
The one that I was out on before.
Right, correct.
And then she just took the other bond that I had back too as well.
No. You have bond in this case. This is the new case. This case was revoked. So in that case, you're being held no bond.
Why though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, is there any?
All right, thank you. All right, please tell me your name.
Curry Vince Raymond.
All right, Mr. Raymond, you're here in 2019 CF 9529AO. You're arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim in the case, Ms. Raymond. You're not to return back or to go to her address,
Do you have any personal property?
which I believe is the 6142 Westgate Drive, apartment 302. You're not to possess any weapons or
Yes.
firearms or ammunition. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I'm gonna set your bond at $3,500.
Your Honor, he's telling me that he has personal property where the victim resides. Can you get a one-time return to recover his personal
What's
property?
the personal property?
What do you have over there? Clothing.
Mr. Raymond, I'll let you go back there, but you must go with law enforcement. And you must call them ahead of time, and you must wait for them to go with you, even if it's taken a really long time. If you go over there and I find out that you went over there, I'm revoking your release. Okay, without law enforcement. You must go with them, okay? And you can only collect your personal belongings,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? Mr. Richardson bond out, I think, Keith Richardson, 190, okay. All right, please tell me your name.
Penelope Stanley.
All right, Ms. Stanley, you're here in 2019 CF 9507AO. You're arrested for 3 counts of cruelty to animals. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to go back to the Quality Inn Suites at 9350 Turkey Lake Road. You're not to have any contact with any witnesses who are listed in the affidavit. And you're not allowed to possess or purchase or breed or do anything with any animal whatsoever. Do you understand? And I am staying the bonds at 2,000 on count 1 and 300 on counts 2 and 3.
Your Honor, would you consider lowering those bonds? Ms. Stanley has no prior record. She's an out-of-state resident, likely have to pay the entire amount in cash. And she's told me already that she does not have the financial resources to pay that bond.
I'm gonna stay the bond. All right, please tell me your name.
Erica Williams.
All right, Ms. Williams, you're here in 19 CF 5781AO. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for your arraignment on June 13th, 2019. The judge revoked your release and set your bond at none. And I am appointing the Public Defender's Office to represent you. They can file any appropriate motions on your behalf, okay?
Can I say something?
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about the capias, so if that's what Mr. Diaz is telling you, and if you give me an excuse as to why you didn't show up to court, it doesn't make any bit of difference. There's nothing
No,
that
I
I
don't
can
have
do.
an excuse. Can you look on file and see what address they sent it to? Because when I first got arrested, she had put in the system my new address, which is how the bounty hunters was able to come get me. So I don't understand how the letter for me to go to court would get sent to somewhere else. Like, could you see where it got sent to?
Look it up, but I can't do. So it looks like this was information that was, this was an at-large case. And the state filed an information. And they issued the capias. And then you were arrested, and then you got released. That was on 5/21/2019. So you were on pretrial release.
You were here, you came. You,
So whatever address you gave to pretrial release. So you had a pretrial release officer.
I'm sorry, what was that?
She was on pretrial release, and she then failed to appear for her arraignment. So
I did.
she was on pretrial release, she had an officer, she was reporting to them.
Yeah, I made the call and everything. I just don't know what address they sent it to. Like the little.
What was your address?
What is it now?
No, what was the address that you gave them?
They when I got the where they did the fingerprint at, she changed it to the one that I'm at now, the 77 Dorcas Court. She had changed it. But on my arrest paper, because when the bounty hunters that came and got me, I was like, I just got arrested, and I had showed her that paper, and she pointed at the address, and it was the different address, and I was like, well, I can't help that they didn't change it, and I didn't know to go online or anything like that. Like, this is my first time being in something like this.
Right, so I don't know what you told you're saying you told your pretrial release officer that?
No, I don't know who they call. You know, the people that do the fingerprints, and they put you in the booth. Like she said, did I need any questions or anything? You don't know?
I don't.
Well, yeah, she asked me did I have a change of address, and then and she looked on the ID.
I don't know who the fingerprint person is that you would give a change of address to. You'd either have to give it to the clerk of the court or to your pretrial release officer.
Your Honor, the mix-up, I believe, is that she thought when she corrected her address with the jail that it would automatically be corrected with clerks.
I thought that was the point of her asking me.
I know that's not the case.
No, and the pretrial release order that she signed. I will abide by the following release conditions. I will give written notice to the clerk of the court and supervising officer within 24 hours of the change of address.
I was supposed to do what now?
That was part of your pretrial release order that you signed.
Yeah, I didn't know I had to change it again. I thought when she asked me for my existing
I
address
don't know
and
what
everything.
happened, but, you have to file a motion with all of that information in it. I mean, it's part of the release conditions that she signed.
Go ahead, tell the judge.
Can I say another thing? Because right now my child is with my friend. I don't know how long she'll be able to help him because she have her own life, like working and everything. And my child is like, I'm all he got, like his family, his
There's
dad.
nothing that I can do about the KPS today because I have no evidence that you actually gave anybody any change of address. I mean, I'm not doubting that you did. Well,
If the address on my ID is where I
they
stay.
have a way of finding you. That's what they do. So
My current
What I
address
can
is on
tell-
my ID.
what I can tell you to do is that your attorneys this is in front of Judge Traver. He's very responsive to bond motions. He's very receptive to those things. So your attorneys are gonna have to file a bond motion. They can do that today and try and get that set. And maybe he'll grant the motion if there's no objection from the state. But I'm not changing the KPS today. I mean, there's an order that you signed that said exactly what you needed to do with the change of address. I don't know what happened there, okay?
All right.
All right, please tell me your name.
Michael Wilson.
All right, Mr. Wilson, you're here in 2019 CF 9526AO. You're arrested for petty theft, 2 prior convictions. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And you're not to return back to 7-Eleven at 1 North Roslyn Avenue or have any contact with any listed victims or witnesses there. Your bond will stay set at 1,000. In 19 MO 12340, you're arrested for an open container violation. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office. I don't know, Mr. Diaz, if you wanted to resolve that case or it's connected to the other case, so.
Your Honor, he qualifies for release of PTR. Would you consider PTR release?
All right, Mr. Wilson, I mean, I'll put you in pretrial release, but you have an extensive history here, so I don't know if you're gonna make it. Just let you know, if you violate your conditions of any release, it's gonna probably get revoked. So, I don't know if you can do it.
Your Honor, next to me is Mr. James Hoover.
Okay. Do we know what happened to Mr. Broadus?
Broadus is mental health.
Okay.
Your Honor, can we address this case nonetheless? I wanted to argue on his behalf that there was no probable cause for his detention and have him released.
Well, he's also out on release. But, so, Mr. Broadus in 19 MO 1236, I've seen Mr. Broadus multiple times. I'm familiar with Mr. Broadus. I know he's gonna qualify for the PD, so I'm gonna appoint them to represent him. And for purposes of probable cause, what's your PC challenge?
He's just lying on the sidewalk. And even the city's ordinance requires that he be given an opportunity to explain his lying on the sidewalk.
I think it just says that they required him to give notice.
Correct, but I don't
It says
see,
he's been warned multiple times.
but those other instances, they need to warn him again. He could have been having a medical emergency, he could have been exhausted and needed to lie down,
Well, they
all of
didn't,
which,
they didn't bring him to the hospital.
I'm not sure.
I'm just saying,
I-
like, you're reading outside of the four corners of the affidavit, assuming what could have been, but
Oh, I know what's not in the affidavit, though. There was no, I warned Mr. Brodus that he needed to
it
leave.
says he's been warned multiple times.
It doesn't say that it was previous.
Previous,
warnings or
yeah.
to this time. I agree, but it doesn't say that it was past attempts or he was warned multiple times at that time.
But, Your Honor, lying on a sidewalk, sitting on a sidewalk is also non-criminal behavior. That's why
Well, it's.
they have to give him notice. He could, for some medical reason, need to lie down, sit down in that instance. His prior warnings obviously wouldn't bear in that instance.
Ms. Kennedy Swanson, do you have any other argument, or,
I'm just saying that based on the
yeah.
officer's statement, it says he was warned multiple times.
yeah.
The inference, I think the defense wants us to believe is that it was previous to the time. I don't have that as saying it was in other occasions. It just says he had been warned multiple times.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, no, that's not the inference. That's the ordinance itself requires that.
It just requires that he be warned, and they
No, I'm
said
saying
he's been
in the
warned
argument saying
multiple,
he
has
was
been
warned.
warned multiple times. How do we know it wasn't 2 seconds before that they walked by and warned him? We don't know. I could assume the same things that you're assuming.
Your Honor, my assumption is not an assumption. I'm just stating a fact that's not.
Well,
I'm
but
telling
the
you something
warning's in
not
there. The
affidavit.
warning's in the affidavit. So I do find probable cause for the offense. I'm gonna stay the bond at the $250. I'm not gonna take any action on the out on bond case. Or out on release case. So he
Same
has
request.
he has a court date coming up.
Same request that we reset this for tomorrow in case Mr. Rose comes tomorrow. I have an offer written down, so that whoever the IA judge is tomorrow can convey it, so he can resolve it in theory if he comes.
That's fine.
Okay, I
Can bring
can't
it back
guarantee you that they're not gonna revoke his release. So I don't know, or you could just set it to plea and it's an MO case, so he can plea at any time. I'm just, whatever happens
just set it
tomorrow,
for
I have
Friday
no
then.
control over.
It's not Judge Wish Friday here. It's
No,
just-
I'm gonna be, Judge Prather will be here Friday, I'm gonna be covering courtroom 2 on Friday.
Why can't we set it for Friday then?
You can't say it's the same thing, the
I'm
judge
just
may revoke the
saying,
bond
I don't
on
know what's
Friday
gonna
as well.
happen with
That's
his
what I'm saying. Thursday or
release.
Friday won't matter.
Oh, well, then we'll
I've
just
seen-
reset it for the initial appearance. I mean, I don't,
Well, you asked me to do the initial appearance today.
no, I wanted to discuss probable cause.
Well, that is the initial appearance.
Well,
What
no,
else
well, I
would
mean,
we deal
there are
with?
other things that have to do with the
Mr.
initial appearance. He needs to be told the nature of the charge, he needs to be told his rights. That's the initial part of the initial appearance hearing. Probable cause is not adversarial. I just read that and I thought that because in my opinion, lying on a sidewalk is also non-criminal. And in my opinion, even if he had been warned 100 times before, the officer didn't
but
take the
we don't-
opportunity on that instance to tell him, or,
Okay,
or
well,
to,
then I won't find PC, I won't do anything, it'll be set for tomorrow,
okay,
okay?
fair enough.
You can make that argument to whoever's here tomorrow, I don't know who's here tomorrow. Okay? So we'll take no action today on anything for Mr. Broadus.
How are you, Mr. Hoover?
I'm shaking like,
You cold?
mm-mm.
Oh, you have the shakes, yeah.
Mr. Sotomayor, education 3 days.
Mr. Hoover? Okay.
Mr. Hoover.
3 days. The offer from the state, yeah,
I'll do it.
okay.
Please tell me your name.
Ma'am.
Oh, I thought it's the judge.
Ma'am,
Tell me your name.
James Hoover,
Mr. Hoover, you're here in 19 MO 1237. You're arrested for possession and consumption of alcohol in a prohibited place and state misdemeanors. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office. Is there an offer for Mr. Hoover if he
Yes.
wanted to resolve his case today?
Yes, Your Honor, adjudication 3 days.
3 days.
And he has 2 in, and I would have to impose court costs.
Yep.
Oh. Did you say he was entering a plea of no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Hoover, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
And you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
I'm a citizen.
But you understand that if you're not, it will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do find a factual basis based on the affidavit. Do accept your plea on both counts. I am gonna adjudicate you on each count, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. Those will run concurrent. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by July 3rd, 2020, okay? That gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's pretty much it.
Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Okay, hold on, the judge wants to hear your name first, though.
Can you tell me your name?
Jerry Newsom, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Newsom, you're here in 19 MO 1238. You're arrested for an open container violation. I do find probable cause, and you did not fill out a form for the public defender. Do you just want to see if the state has an offer for you to resolve your case?
Yeah.
Okay.
The offer is a withhold credit for time served. He has 2 days in.
So the state is offering a withhold of adjudication, which means that it won't be a conviction, and then you'll get out today. They're just gonna give you credit for time served, and I would have to impose court costs, so I'll give you a year to pay them off.
Thank you.
Do you wanna do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll have you sign the plea form.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And Mr. Hoover,
Hold on,
or
hold on, don't
Newsom,
go
excuse
anywhere.
me, you may not wanna go back to that 7-Eleven, cause you've been
No,
trespassing
ma'am.
there, okay? Do you wanna enter a plea of no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom of the plea form? Is that a yes? You gotta
Yes.
speak up, because we're being
Yes,
recorded.
ma'am.
Okay. Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
No, I haven't been on no probation.
Okay, no, we discussed that. You're not on probation. Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen?
Oh,
this
I am.
plea- But do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do find a factual basis based on the affidavit to accept your plea. I'm gonna withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by July 3rd, 2020. That gives you a year to pay them off. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your
Have a
Honor.
good day. All right, please tell me your name, sir. All right, Mr. Rossi, you're here in 19 MO 1239. You were arrested for an open container violation. I do find probable cause. You did not fill out a form for the public defender. Did you want to see if the state had an offer to resolve your case?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have much of a record, and I just, you you got my record right,
I do, yeah. So we'll see if the state has an offer for you. I'm sure they do.
Withhold credit for time served, he has credit for 2 days.
So same as I told Mr. Newsome, I have to impose court costs. It's a withhold, so you're not being adjudicated guilty, and you get credit for time served, so you'll get out today.
All right, sounds good.
Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, do you want to plead no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Okay, and you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea. Based on the affidavit in the court file, I'm gonna withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order that you pay those by July 3rd, 2020. It gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
Todd Seeley.
All right, Mr. Seeley, you're here in 19 MO 1240. You're arrested for disorderly conduct. I do find probable cause. You did not fill out a form for the public defender. Did you want to see if they had an offer for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Adjudication, 3 days.
And I believe you have 2 in, and I would have to impose court costs. So do you want to accept that offer and proceed without an attorney?
Yes.
Okay. And you would get out today, I just don't know what time.
Okay.
And do you want to plea no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Seeley, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand all the rights you're giving up by entering a plea?
Yes.
And are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I do find a factual basis based on the affidavit to accept your plea. I'm gonna adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. Do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by July 3rd, 2020. Gives you a year to pay them off, okay? You want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, all right? Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Benitez is mental health.
All right, we'll reset him. All right, please tell me your name.
My name is Lance Jamal Bennett.
All right, Mr. Bennett. I'm here in 19 MM 6536AO, you're arrested for petty theft and criminal mischief, less than 200. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
There is no offer, Your Honor.
There is no offer, okay. So you're not to return back to the Walmart at 5734 South Orange Blossom Trail. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness at that location. And I'm gonna stay the bond on count 1 at $250, and I am gonna also stay the bond at $250 on count 2. All right, state has filed on the out on bond case, and this is apparently Mr. Bennett's 4th arrest just this year alone. I am gonna revoke the bond in 19 CF 4845AO, and that will be set at none.
So, what's really going on here? You haven't been clear what's going on.
Well, you're out on release
Okay,
in a felony case. The state's filed on it. You have pretrial set and trial set, and I'm revoking the bond. So your attorneys can file any appropriate motions. I believe you are represented by the public defender in that case.
so which one is revoked?
The felony out on bond case.
I don't have a felony. It's not a felony.
You do. 2019 CF 4845. You have pretrial set on July 30th, and trials period starts on 8/12/2019.
So I can't bond out on this case basis.
You can bond out on this case that we're here on, yes. But you have no bond on the other case. Your attorneys will have to file a motion for bond with the judge, Judge Jordan. All right, 2019 MM 5522AO. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Eli Brooks.
All right. You're here, you're arrested on trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause, and you did not fill out a form for the public defender. Did you want to see if they had an offer for you? I don't know if they do.
Yes.
Adjudication, 3 days, credit for 2, no return.
All right, just wanna make sure.
So, and I would have to impose court costs. You can't go back to that Burger King.
Mr. Brooks is flying solo.
Hmm?
You flying?
Yeah, I'll pay y'all for
So I don't blame you, man. You're doing good by yourself.
All right, Mr. Brooks, did you want to plead no contest?
Yes.
All right. I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes.
All right, did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
Nowhere.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'm gonna adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You may not go back to the Burger King at 744 West Colonial Drive. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by July 3rd, 2020. If you want to appeal a judgment and sentence to the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, okay? Good luck to you.
Hey, how you doing?
Your Honor, Ms.
Mr. Clayton?
Mr. DeJesus is Spanish interpreter.
Okay, I don't think I have him. Yeah,
He was on the move up.
yeah.
Along with
All right.
This one over here is not valid yet.
Please tell me your name.
Chase Dow.
All right, Mr. Dow, you're here in 19 MM 5518. AO, you're arrested for tampering with a coin-operated machine and criminal mischief of a coin machine. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I don't know if the state has an offer for you.
We do not, Your Honor.
So you're not to return back to the Wyndham Bonnet Creek Resort at 14100 Bonnet Creek Resort Lane in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness at that location. And I am gonna stay the bond on count 1 at 500 and count 2 100. And it looks like you do have a hold, an out-of-county hold. All right, please tell me your name.
Angelo Eli.
All right, Mr. Eli, you're here in 19 MM 5534 AO. You're arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Is there no offer?
There's no offer, Your Honor.
All right, so you're not to return back to 4750 Millennia Plaza Way, that Target. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness at that location. Was he arrested on a capias for? It says on there that there's a capias issued 7/2/2019. I don't know what that is. It says possession of cocaine, possession of heroin, 2019 CF 1949. Was he arrested on that or?
I don't know.
About it? No. He hasn't been arrested on it yet, so that, are they gonna arrest him on it? Okay. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna set your bond at $500. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness, and you're not to go back to that Target. I think I already said that. I may see you again. All right, please tell me your name.
Glenda Lavelle Gilchrist.
All right, Ms. Gilchrist, you're here in 2019 MM 5533 AO. You're arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office. I'm guessing there's no offer.
There's no offer, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you're not to return back to the Publix at 400 East Central Boulevard. You're not to have any contact with any listed victims or witnesses there. I'm gonna stay the bond at the $250.
Okay, that's it. That's it. What they file, that'll be the next time we go to court, unless we file a motion to change the bond or something else. Go back on.
All right, please tell me your name.
Tiffany Hodge.
All right, Ms. Hutch, you're here in 2019 MM 5531 AO. You're arrested for battery. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to return back to the Burger King at 744 West Colonial Drive in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to possess any weapons, any firearms, or any ammunition. Did you know what the warrant's for? Newton, Nevada? Battery. All right, your bond's gonna be set at $1,500. Right, yeah. Mhm.
Talk to the judge about it.
So she thinks I'm unable to pay that?
Possibly. Your Honor, Ms. Hatch was telling me that she's homeless. She does not have the financial resources to pay the $1,500 bond and would like the court to consider lowering the bond.
Okay, well, that's not the only factor that I need to consider. So, she has an outstanding warrant for battery out of Nevada, for battery with a deadly weapon. She has convictions for battery with a deadly weapon. That was in 2018. She's been a fugitive. There's also a battery DV arrest prior. She has multiple other battery convictions, so I don't think $1,500 is inappropriate.
Look, Ms. Hatch.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Kenton Knight.
All right, Mr. Knight, you're here at 19 MM 5538AO. You're arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. And was there an offer?
Adjudication credit for time, sir. Credit for 2 days.
Can you get Mr. Knight?
And so, Mr. Knight, I'm not gonna take action on your out on bond case, but listen to me carefully, because you're out on release for possession of cocaine. In this case, I believe the paraphernalia that they found tested positive for cocaine, and that there was cannabis smell in the vehicle, and that you indicated that you smoked cannabis. You can't do that when you're out on release, okay? So just, you need to be careful what you're doing, because you can get your bond revoked very quickly and be held on no bond. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it was 3 days?
No, credit time served is
Okay.
credit for 2 days.
I would have to impose court costs. All right, did you want to, is he pleading no contest?
He will.
All right, Mr. Knight, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a factual basis for me to accept the plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'm gonna adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you to pay those by July 3rd, 2020. Gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence to the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Be careful, Mr. Knight. If you get arrested again, it's possible that that will get revoked.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name.
Jose Elmer Sarabia Alvarez.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 MM 5542 AO. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Was there an offer?
Withhold credit for time served, no return.
Why was the bond set at 1,000? I don't know.
His address is Mira.
Is the standard bond 500? Oh, okay. Thought it was 250. Okay. I was like, why was that 1,000? So it's withhold credit for time served?
Yes, 2 days.
And Mr. Saravia Alvarez, is that how you say it?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't go back to the Westgate Lakes, that 9500 Turkey Lake Road, okay? You've been
I know.
trespassed there, don't go back.
Okay. I just, can I say something? No?
Well, I mean,
I just went because they gave me a warrant, but I went back because of my room and I need to take my stuff out. That's
okay,
why.
well, you can't go back.
I know, but I'm just saying I'm not going back right there. I'm just saying that's why I went back. Okay. All right. So- Yes,
Thank you. Does he wish to plea no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything that's contained within the plea form?
Yes.
And you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right. I do find a factual basis for you, for me to accept the plea. Based on the affidavit in the court file, I am gonna withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You can't go back to that Westgate Lakes Resort, the 9500 Turkey Lake Road. And I'm gonna order that you pay court costs by July 3rd, 2020. If you wanna appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir, okay? Good luck to you. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Ulysses Delgado.
All right, Mr. Delgado, you were picked up on an out-of-county warrant out of Volusia County, and you do have a bond of $5,000, so if you can bond out, you can bond out. If not, Volusia has 72 hours, that does not include weekends or holidays. Oh, okay. So they'll pick him up after his sentence is completed. Do you know when that is, or?
Is there any way I could do the time over there for the 45? No?
Okay. I don't know if your attorneys would have to probably file some motions and things like that, if that would even be allowed. So you'll have to speak with your attorneys about that, whether you can do that, but you were sentenced here, so did you have the public defender? Okay, so
Yes.
you can contact them to see if they can file any motions, but I'm not sure that that's possible.
Yeah, probably
Okay,
not.
but you were arrested on the warrant, so you'd be getting the credit for time that you served here, you know, do you understand
Yeah,
what
I'll
I'm
be getting
saying?
credit towards
Yeah,
that?
because you were arrested on the warrant,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
And if they tell you that that's not the case, then make sure they get all the paperwork here showing that you were arrested on the warrant, okay?
Okay,
All right?
all right.
please tell me your name?
Angel Capeles.
All right, and Mr. Milan?
Interpretation.
Okay.
Sorry, what's his name?
So we'll send that to courtroom two. All right, so you're here in case number 2019 CF 9472 AO. You were arrested for possession of heroin and trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness. You're not to return back to the Walmart at 5734 South Orange Blossom Trail. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Stay the bond at 1,000 on count 1, 100 on count 2. And I'm not taking action on the 19 CF 6168 AO, but Mr. Capella Santiago, if I see you again, or if any other judge sees you again, it's likely that they will revoke your bond.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, can you tell me your name?
Harold Graham.
Okay, and I believe, Mr. Graham, we had some issues with the paperwork,
Yes, Your Honor.
and I apologize for that.
Your Honor, your apology is not necessary, but it is humbly accepted.
Okay, I do apologize. Because we just had it worded incorrectly, and that's on me. So, you're here, you're back here in 19 CF 9467 AO, and I did set your bond at 50,000 plus pretrial release, and apparently I can't do that unless I do random word it differently. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna strike the pretrial release altogether,
Thank you, Your Honor.
okay? So, but again,
I'm
all,
gonna make sure you don't regret that.
all of the other conditions apply.
Yes, ma'am, I
Okay,
understand.
so the same, the curfew with the driving and the no weapons, no firearms, all of that still
Understood.
applies. I'm just striking the PTR and the random urinalysis, but no drugs or alcohol at all, okay?
Your Honor,
without a
as I
valid
said yesterday,
prescription.
I've been clean and sober since 1997, not planning on making any changes there.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much.
So again, I do apologize for that, so now you can bond out.
Thank you so much, Judge Wish.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning. Okay. Okay. Well, he's out on release too, so I don't, does anybody have any opinions about that? I mean, when you say a while, are we talking like a couple days or?
He's been on the list for,
Yeah, I see that this has been medical, hospital.
Why don't we
since,
just have
like,
him set for a certain time after his
June
return?
25th, I guess. Yeah. This has been going on since June 25th. back and forth with medical, hospital, medical, hospital. I mean, we can keep resetting him, but it's,
Well, this isn't an instance in which he's woefully rejecting coming to court, so that's what I would want for him,
is what?
for him to come to court.
Oh, I'm fine with that. I mean, it's just, they were advising me that it'd probably be a while. So
That's
we'll
fine.
reset him within 24 hours of his release from the hospital and see if there's any medical issues after that. There very well may be, but he also has a hold, so, and he has no bond in this case.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll continue to reset Mr. Horn, but we'll only reset him within 24 hours of his release from the hospital. All right, and are you Mr. Watley? No? Oh, he bonded? Okay. Mr. Watley bonded. Huh? Oh, this is Mr. Sullins? Yeah, who is this?
Mr. Owens.
Owens.
Is that a bond motion?
It is.
Okay, all right. So I'm just gonna call this at the end, Mr. Sullins, completely at the end. Thank you, though, for reminding me. All right, Mr. Owens, you're here in 2019 MM 534880. And your attorneys have filed a motion for release on your own recognizance or on the alternative to reduce your bond.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay? Just pull it up. Does he have any failures to appear?
No, Your Honor.
My mother's in the hospital trying to get out.
Okay, listen to me though.
And he has 2 cases out of Seminole County?
Yes, ma'am.
What are those?
Cases that are bonded out on Your Honor.
No, I know, but Mr. Diaz, what are the charges in those cases?
I don't know, Your Honor, but he has 2 Seminole County detainers, so releasing him here in this county would just result in his being transferred over to
Transported
Seminole.
over?
Correct.
Okay, so he has a hold.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I will release you on your own recognizance, so you can go and handle your cases out in Seminole County. Okay, Mr. Owens?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, please tell me your name, sir. Are you Mr. Rivera?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rivera, you're here in 19 MM 52090, and your attorneys have filed a motion for release on your own recognizance or in the alternative to reduce your bond. And he has another out on bond case as well for criminal mischief and possession of drug paraphernalia. Okay. That, yeah, it's 2019 MM 369AA. His bond was revoked in that case. $100 bond on count one, $100 bond on count two. All right, Mr. Diaz, it's your motion.
Yes, Your Honor, could we have Mr. Rivera sworn in?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rivera, let's start by talking about where you're going to live if you're released.
I'm gonna leave in my uncle's house. It's 7108 Bledsoe Avenue, Orlando, Florida. I've been here for 25 years, so I mean, I ain't going nowhere. So, and I also gonna be working in Labor Max in Rosemont. So, I got everything planned out. So, I'm just ready to, get my life together.
Mr. Rivera, hold on just a second. Let's now talk about your financial resources.
Okay.
What is your source of income?
Myself, I work.
You work?
Yeah, I work.
Okay, how often do you work?
I work almost every day because I do the labor ready. They got construction jobs out there, but it's kind of hard to get in. You need schooling and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to I do labor ready.
Okay, so you work, you go to Labor Ready and they send you to work every day?
They send me to work every day, yes, sir.
Okay, and about how much do you make on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, maybe like $60.
$60?
Yeah.
So about $300 a week?
Maybe sometimes it's less because sometimes they send me to work, sometimes they don't, And I don't really have the money like that. I just been paying, other things that I have to pay.
Okay, so, well, let's start over again, because you just told me that sometimes they don't send you to work. How often reliably do you go to work on a weekly basis?
Maybe three times a day.
Okay.
3 times a week.
3 times a week?
Yes.
All right, so you make confidently at least $180 a week?
Yes.
Okay.
And that includes I gotta pay,
Okay, we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any other source of income other than the income that you receive from employment?
No.
Do you own valuable personal property? Let's start with jewelry. Do you own any valuable jewelry?
No, sir. No.
Do you have any other personal property, items that you could possibly pawn that are very valuable?
No, I don't, sir.
How about tools of trade? Do you have anything like that?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Do you own any stocks?
No.
Bonds?
No.
Do you currently have a bank account?
No, not at this moment.
Okay. Do you have any cash at your house, or how much cash do you have on
No,
hand?
I don't have any cash at all. Everything's just, I make it and I pay the stuff that I gotta pay.
Do you know now that you're going to receive any inheritance or any future money that you just, say you might receive in the next week or so?
No.
Nothing like that?
Nothing like that.
Okay. Is there any other source of income that I didn't discuss? Anything that I haven't brought up yet?
Just here, my uncle's got to take care of their family, his mom, they're really sick, so I'm out there just to help them out too. So.
When was the last time you talked to your uncle?
Oh, it's a couple like 4 days ago.
Okay.
5 days ago.
Your total contribution right now through a bondsman might be $200. Did you talk to him about that?
Yeah, I talked to him, but I don't have the money. I don't have the means right now to pay.
Is he willing to help you pay the bond?
What, my uncle? No, he don't have no money because he's taking care of his mom. His mom is sick and everything, and then his sister. He's taking care of his sister too because they brought him from all the way from Puerto Rico here.
Okay.
So, they're all in one little house, and now I'm gonna go over there to try to help them out. See, whatever I can.
Other than the
at work too.
So you just described the family that lives with the uncle at 7108 Bledsoe Avenue. Do you have any other family in the area, in Central Florida?
No, I don't.
Do you have any close friends, anybody that could possibly help you bond out?
No, I don't.
Nobody?
No.
Okay. And you earlier told us that if you were released, you hope to go back to work with Labor Ready?
Yeah, Labor Ready, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Rivera, I received information earlier that you had failed to appear, I believe, was that in 2011?
Yes.
Okay, your last failure to appear 6 times. Have you had any other failures to appear since then?
No, sir. I always go to court. I always, tend to go to court because I respectfully, I respect that. I always go to court. It's just that time I think I was in another county, and then I was in jail or something like that happened, But
I'm sorry
it
to
was.
interrupt, was it one failure to appear or six? I heard six.
I think there were 6 counts.
It was
So,
6 failures to appear. The last one, according to pretrial services, is 2011.
Okay, I heard six and then I
2015.
heard one.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2015. I apologize.
2015.
okay.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I didn't hear.
I don't know, I didn't have that information either. Nothing else from the defense, Your Honor, thank you. No
Ms.
further
Kennedy Swanson, did you want to inquire?
No, Your Honor, just argument.
Okay, I don't have a criminal history, so can somebody please tell me the criminal history?
Yes, 9 felony convictions, 34 misdemeanor convictions. As stated previously, the 6th failure to appear is the last one was in 2015. His last conviction was for trespassing, and that was February of this year. He also has battery, extensive trespassing, extensive resisting without violence, dealing in stolen property. He does have out-of-state convictions, possession of heroin, harassment, criminal mischief.
State objects based on his criminal history, Your Honor.
Do you have any other argument?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Diaz?
Your Honor,
Other than what you've elicited?
No, it's just really financial, Your Honor. The defense's hope is that even if the court finds ROR to be unreasonable conditions of release, that it would lower the bond to an amount, I don't know what that might be, that Mr. Rivera could reach.
Okay. So, based on my review of the facts of this case, as well as the facts of the case that he was out on bond in when he committed this new law offense, and probable cause was found for that, and then that bond got revoked, along with his criminal history, his failures to appear, the danger to the community based on the facts of this case, the fact that he, like I said before, he was out on release and was alleged to have committed this new offense. I'm not gonna reduce the bond, and I'm not gonna release him ROR, so I'm gonna deny.
Sorry, Mr. Rivera.
Are you Mr. Rowell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you fill out a PD form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Okay. All right, Mr. Rowell, you're here in 19 CF 6300AO, and you did fill out a public defender form, and you do qualify, and I just signed the order appointing the PD to represent you, okay? Okay. Did you have another question?
No, I don't.
No? Okay. We have the public defender now, okay?
State is ready on 33 motions.
Okay, hold on one second. We're gonna deal with Mr. Sullins real quick. So. So this was a reset 2019 CF 9470AO, to give the state 24 hours to provide the court with probable cause as to the possession of cocaine, because there was some discrepancy about the testing of positive of heroin versus cocaine, and so I just obviously received the affidavit, so let me just take a look at it.
I don't believe this public defender's office had an objection after seeing the
Oh,
information
okay.
provided.
Well, I haven't read it, so did they correct it?
Yes, they identified that the heroin was with the other defendants,
Okay,
co-defendant, and the
okay.
cocaine was with this defendant,
Okay.
Mr. Sullins.
Okay. I do find the probable cause based on the additional supplemental information the state has provided to the court. He's not to possess any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And I'm gonna stay the bond at $1,000. He's out on bond in 3 cases, 2019 CF 8518, 2019 CF 8513, and 2019 CF 6937A. Oh, I am revoking the bonds and setting it at none. Okay, and I'll appoint the PD on the 6937 case. Was it the refusal? Yes. All these noises. I don't know. There's a lot of noises today. Okay. All right, 2019 CF 7465AO Stephen Wayne Pollen. Looks like his bond was revoked on 6/29. Is that correct? Anyone? Okay. Well, that will be denied. His bond was revoked, and the proper motion is a motion to revoke or to set bond.
Your Honor, I'd like to offer an argument, just one, since we may have more than one case under, that has the same circumstances.
Sure.
Your Honor, well, I'm sure Your Honor is familiar with the argument. Rule 3.134, the plain reading of the rule would provide Mr. Pollen and any other similarly situated defendant with relief under the rule, notwithstanding how he came to be again in custody. So his bond having been revoked shouldn't bear on whether or not this court or any court would provide him relief under 3.134. I understand the counter argument is that that would be a foolish interpretation of the, or a foolish expectation of application of the rule, but that's not for us to, we're not asked to inquire why the Florida Supreme Court wrote the rule that way.
Okay, well, I read the rule completely, absolutely differently than you. We've had this discussion before, I'm pretty sure. But once you bond out, the 33-day rule does not apply anymore until, you know, and that's it. So he was released, and then his bond was, or he somehow picked up a new law violation or violated his release, and his bond was revoked. There'd be no point in having the ability to revoke somebody's bond if they could just get out the next day or the day after or the day after that for, I mean, it absolutely makes no sense when you look at the rule. So, I mean, I would say that if I'm wrong, appeal me on every single one of these so that we can get some sort of direction. If you are in disagreement, obviously I will take no offense to anybody appealing me on any of these issues. So that's my rule, that's gonna be my ruling in these cases, which if your bond is revoked, then the proper motion to file is a motion to set bond.
And what's the authority for that? Because I understand that
It's
I
the-
was just telling the state that we keep going around in circles.
Right.
I haven't seen any case law. I'm not aware of any.
I think because it wouldn't, I mean, nobody's probably raised the issue because it wouldn't make sense to raise the issue. The bond was revoked. I mean, he's not entitled to the release. He has to file a motion for bond. I don't know what went on before I got here, before Judge Carter got here, but we're both on the same page here for this, as well as many other judges that I've talked to. And we're all sort of like confused as to why this is even, I feel like it's a disingenuous argument, not to say that you might not have an opinion about it, but it doesn't make sense.
Well, Your Honor, that's what I'm getting at, because I would want to counsel other lawyers not to file the motion if I could find
Well, there may
some
not be
basis
case law
other-
in it, so maybe you file your writ. File your writ. File a writ, please, file it.
No, I'm just, because I can tell that not only this court, but, you know, other courts in the state have suggested that this is some impropriety, that, you know, as if the defense is filing stuff that they should know, you know, is baseless.
I mean, you can file whatever you wanna file. Whether it gets granted or denied is one thing, but I take no offense to you filing the motion.
It's not about defense, Your Honor.
I
just
feel-
don't want to continue a practice
Okay, well,
that is firmly
right. That's gonna-
discredited,
right.
and I haven't received any.
It's not that the judges that are sitting here today have ruled on it. So the proper thing to do is, if that's their consistent ruling, is to file a writ. What's happening is, instead of filing the writ and taking the next step as defense, not you, Mr. Soto Diaz, but as the attorney of record, the next step is to file a writ, and your office continues to not do it. So instead of continuing to have the same argument on the same issue, it's frustrating when the appellate court tells you what to do next.
I understand that, but we have the same problem even at the appellate level. We have cases that are appealed constantly because the DCA won't write on it. So if we had some guidance, if we had somebody saying like this case.
Well, I can't
that's
give you that guidance. The only people that can give you the guidance is the fifth. And I'm not the fifth. But this is my belief based on my review of the statutes and the rules, and it would make no sense. It would just, it doesn't comport with common sense.
And our position is that.
Okay, I know what your position is.
Okay.
We know what your position is, and I'm sure if you file a writ, you'll put that in the writ. And I would love for the fifth to tell me I'm right or wrong, but. Okay, so, I mean, y'all can continue to file the motions, but I'm gonna deny them if their bond's been revoked. Cause I believe that the proper motion is a motion to set bond in the division in which it's set. So, that's what I'm putting on every order. Okay, 2019 MM 4570AO, Adrian A. Robinson.
That should be denied. The state filed information and request a transfer from felony to misdemeanor on 7-1. This was, if you don't see it.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was the last?
Robinson, it's the add-on. We started with the add-on document.
Oh, okay.
So at the bottom.
Are we ready to go on to the next one? Okay. All right, 2019 CF 5963AO, Leah Nicole Bates. Again, Miss Bates' bond was revoked on June 28th, 2019. I'm gonna deny that.
Your Honor, the defense would offer the same argument on behalf of the
Okay. And your standing argument is noted for the record.
Correct.
All right, 2019 CF 3646AO, David Lee Griffin.
That should be denied. The state filed information on 7-2.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 7515AO, Stephen Wayne Pollen. Again, his bond was revoked on 6/29/2019. So I'm gonna deny that.
Same objection, Your Honor, same argument.
Okay. (2019) MM 4585 Carl Dallas.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day.
That will be granted. 2019 CF 2606AO, Christopher Allen Norris, and I'm showing that he's not in jail on this case.
I have a 2019 CS 7842. Is that a different case number?
Oh, sorry. There's one for each. Sorry, I'm sorry, but I'm showing that the 2606,
He was out on bond, the judge?
he's not on jail in this case.
I don't even have the 2606 on my list.
It's on the add-on. It's number 16.
That's what I'm saying, on my number 16, it's the 7842 case. I only have one case printed. I don't have the other case on my list. Oh, she corrected that date, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so he's not on jail in this case. So
And that's 2606, right, 1906?
2606, it looks like, the court minutes show that the court took no action on his out on bond case when he was arrested in 19 CF 7842. That's the court minutes that I'm showing. He was out on bond, but it didn't get revoked. So I'll deny that. CF 5119. This is session 2, courtroom 1. Judge Wish, can I have the parties present out themselves for the record?
Kathy Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of State Attorney.
And Manuel Soto Diaz for the Office of Public Defender.
Do we have an updated face sheet for this person? I have one that says it was incomplete. Alexandre? Oh, okay, never mind then. Thank you. And then for Anderson, it's appears to be the sisters, the other person. It's not the right name. Monica Anderson is the defendant. This is the sister, the name that she's alleged to have used. Yeah, the charge is giving false name adversely affecting another. That's the sister, not Kristen. Oh, okay. Okay, because it's, her name's Monica, not Kristen. That's the sister, so. Are you, Monica Anderson?
According to her ID, it's gonna be Kristen.
Okay. What's your name, ma'am?
Your Honor, she's identified by the jail as
I want her
Kristen
to tell
Anderson.
me her name.
Well, she has a right to remain silent, Your Honor. So if that happens to be, that isn't her name, that could possibly constitute a crime,
Well,
so.
it's an identifiable information that is not, we all know that through booking processes and all of that information is not a right to remain silent. I mean, that's all.
I think you have to call the jail records in order to verify her prints to say that that's who that person is.
So when will she be fingerprinted? Because I don't have a correct, obviously, I don't have a correct face sheet for her because I believe that the individual that was arrested is Monica Anderson, which is the name that is on the charging affidavit. So she's saying she's not Monica Anderson, then I don't have the right person who's listed on this charging
I
affidavit.
think that's her defenses. I'm not saying who I am, one way or
Okay.
the other to say.
Well, then I don't have the right person. That's the problem, is that the name of the person on the arrest affidavit is Monica Anderson. And her ID says Kristen Anderson.
In case we reset to tomorrow, see if
Yeah,
her prints come
I don't
back.
have the right person then, or the
Well,
right.
What reason would we have that the
I don't
law
have the
enforcement
right-
officer arrested the wrong person?
Because the name says Monica Anderson, the accusation is that she gave her sister Kristen Anderson's name, which adversely is affecting her. So this again would continue to adversely affect the victim, and I also don't have a proper face sheet with the correct criminal history, which I think that I need. She has a bond.
She wasn't identified through the jail?
She's not been fingerprinted yet.
Oh, she
That's
hasn't
what
been
they're saying,
fingerprinted
they
yet.
haven't been fingerprinted yet.
Okay.
I'm guessing once she gets fingerprinted, her fingerprints will come back to Monica Anderson. I mean,
Okay, Your Honor.
so we'll reset this till tomorrow to find out who this person is. So will you just put on there, reset, so, fingerprints can identify the defendant? Do you know when they'll be doing the fingerprints, or? Huh? Okay. Thank you. All right, please tell me your name.
Shamal Anglin.
All right, Mr. Anglin, you're here in 2019 CF 9537AO. You're arrested for possession of cannabis, more than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I do note you qualify for pretrial release. I'm gonna place you in the pretrial release program with random urinalysis. So you need to make sure that you comply with all of their requirements. I can say not to test you for 30 days, but my belief is what I've been told from pretrial release is that they don't test between 30 to 45 days anyway. But I can have them put that in there if you would like, Mr. Diaz. But that's just what pretrial release has told me.
That's what I thought also, so.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
Well, they'll just do it tomorrow, yeah, because I don't know who she is, so. What did she put on the PD? Her name? Oh, okay. That's not her name. Okay, yeah, if the prints come back, we'll bring her back.
Okay.
All right, please tell me your name.
Danny Bet.
All right, Mr. Bat, you're here in 2019 CF 9541AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I have a question. I have a face sheet with nothing on it, so I don't know. Does he qualify for pretrial release, or? Okay. Is there, do we know why, or? Doesn't say that. Yeah. And then, I'll get back to that. And then 2019 MO 1241AO, you're arrested for, open container violation. I do find probable cause. And I am gonna appoint the public defender in that case as well. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, it appears that you're not gonna qualify for pretrial release. So I'm gonna stay the bond in 9541 at $1,000. I'm gonna reduce count 2 to $100. And in the, ordinance case, I am gonna stay the bond at the $250. tell me your name, sir?
William Collins.
All right, Mr. Collins, you're here in 2018 CF 10537AO. You arrested pursuant to a warrant, which probable cause has been found for a violation of probation. It looks like Judge LeBlanc set your bond at 2,500 on count 2 and 1,500 on count 3, but the top of the warrant says violent felony offender of special concern, and he is a violent felony offender of special concern and appears out of Hillsborough County. There's a hold. I don't believe he's entitled to a bond if he is a violent felony offender of special concern, or that the court could even give him a bond, even if the court wanted to give him a bond. So I'm trying to figure out why there's a bond if he's not allowed to give a bond, but so I'm gonna pull up the warrant, and I only have the return. I mean, it's usually stamped, but this one says it right at the top. I don't know how we get around that.
Meaning what?
Meaning he's like, even if the court wanted to give him a bond, the court couldn't give him a bond. Like legally under the law, the Anti-Murder Act does not allow for that. So, that's my concern here, is that because it's usually stamped, I don't know, it wasn't stamped in this case, but it says it. It's stamped on the warrant itself. It says violent felony offender of special concern, that's page 5 of the 6. It's just not on the front page of the other portion of it. So I'm gonna,
Well, can we confirm that that would be the case? Do we know what charge is the charge that would make him a violent felony offender of special concern?
probably the one that's out of Polk County or Hillsborough County. So I'm gonna pull up his DOC.
Just 1 second.
Does anyone know what he's on probation for?
Trafficking is stolen property.
No, in
already know.
Hillsborough.
Trafficking is stolen
I already
property.
know, but I know why
False
you have
info
that
to
designation.
pawnbroker. That's it. Same thing for Orange.
Okay, so do we know why they stamped it violent felony offender of special concern?
It has that designation on the DOC.
Do we, okay, I don't know what he was, I don't know what's
No,
violating him.
I saw it.
I
I know
know.
what it is.
What?
I know what it is.
Okay,
Yeah, I saw it. It's on his list of convictions. Unless that's wrong.
You can come with a score sheet from the original case, I'm guessing, it's 2007 case.
No, it's a prior charge. It's not the case out of Hillsborough County,
No, I'm
because,
saying it's a 2007 conviction, is what it is.
okay.
I mean, I'm looking at a score sheet, that's all.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
you're looking at the score sheet.
I'm looking
yeah.
at a score sheet.
Yeah,
from the
I could see
original
it
case.
in the,
okay. So I don't know why Judge LeBlanc gave him a bond, cause he's not entitled to a bond. And he's like, even if Judge LeBlanc wanted to give him a bond, he can't give him a bond, so, so I'm gonna strike the bonds and set it at no bond. And he'll be seen by Judge Whitehead in a week to 10 days, could be a little bit sooner. And can you just put in the court minutes,
The court has to have what's called a danger.
Anti-Murder Act,
So, once the court
violent
finds that you're not
felony offender,
executive,
felon offender of special
Judge LeBlanc can
concern,
do that matter.
not entitled to bond.
No, it's just a typical violation. It's not first
Why
one.
is it Judge LeBlanc?
Felon, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's exactly what's stamped on the warrant.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Violent felony offender of special concern.
That hold is actually closed by DOC because it's in on the warrant. So he doesn't have the DFOC any longer.
Excuse me, I can't hear you. Yeah, it's really hard to hear.
The DFOC hold has been closed for DOC.
Oh, okay.
On the warrant.
Oh, okay, but it's
Still is
stamped
a
on this warrant. Okay, right.
Claudia Jackson, bond.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are you Miss Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Jones, you're here in 2019 CF 9536AO. You're arrested for possession of heroin and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And, so she doesn't qualify for pretrial release because she did not, she refused to give a physical address. So otherwise I would place
How
her
did
in
I refuse to
pretrial.
give a physical address? No, my physical address is 746 Chicken Farm Road, Osteen, Florida. That is my physical address, ma'am. I did not refuse to give a physical address.
Okay, well, that's just what's on the face sheet, and the notes are advising me that that's, when they tried to interview you, that's what happened. So I'm gonna stay the bond or pretrial release if you qualify, so that they can screen you again to see if you qualify, okay? But you need to cooperate with the interview. I'm not saying that you didn't. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. So that's just the notes.
Okay.
So, again, you're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I'll stay the bonds or pretrial release if you qualify. Please tell me your name, sir.
Christopher Daquan Macon.
All right, Mr. Macon, you're here in 2 cases. In 2019 CF 9539AO, you were arrested for possession of methamphetamine, possession of cannabis, more than 20 grams. Less than 20 grams, sorry. Battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting with a law enforcement officer with violence. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or ammunition. You're not to have any contact with the victims. And you're not to drive without a valid license. And then you're also here, it looks like they filed an on-view violation of probation on you based on the new law offense. And there's probable cause for that. I am gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. You should be seen by Judge Whitehead in a week to 10 days, could be sooner on that case. Okay?
No, I'm sorry, I
I'm
missed
sorry,
the
the
bonds on the
bonds?
first, yes.
Sorry, yeah. So I'm gonna stay the bond at $1,000 on count 1. I'm gonna reduce count 2 to 100. And count 3, 150, count 4, 150, okay?
Your Honor, may I have a brief moment with Mr. Macon before we dismiss him? Sure.
No problem, no problem.
All right.
No problem, thank you.
Mr. Merchant.
All right, please tell me your name.
Freddie Lamar Merchant.
All right, Mr. Merchant, you're here in 2019 CF 9543AO. You're arrested for possession of a controlled substance without a valid prescription. Looks like I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I'm gonna stay the bond at $1,000. You're out on bond, and the state has filed in this case, 2019 CF 5166AO. I'm revoking it and setting it at none. Huh? If you don't have the PD, I'm gonna appoint them. Well, if you don't, but he's set for trial, so.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
huh? What's the out on bond case number? Oh, I got it. Yeah.
1 second.
Okay, the last court minutes was June 27th, and it said defendant to get their own attorney. And then he filled out an affidavit on that day. But I'm gonna appoint the PD. And if he wants to get his own attorney, I guess he can, but I don't want him sitting in there. So I'm gonna appoint you on the 19 CF 5166, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for. All right, please tell me your name.
Ernest James Toomer.
All right, Mr. Toomer. There was a bond correction sheet on this. I don't know if you saw it, Mr. Diaz, but for count 2, so. just letting
Changing the
you know.
charge.
Huh?
Changing the charge.
No, it's a possession of amphetamine, so it's set at 100, but 150. It's just a
Oh, okay.
corrected bond.
The
letting
felony
you know.
subsidiary bond.
Yeah, so 2019 CF 9538AO. You're arrested for possession of heroin and possession of amphetamine. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you in that case. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I'm gonna stay the bond on count 1 at 1,000 and count 2 will be 150. 19 MO 1243AO, you're arrested for an open container violation. I do find probable cause in that case, and I am gonna appoint the public defender's office, and your bond will stay set at the 250. All right, please tell me your name.
Danielle Lamarius Warren.
All right, Mr. Warren. You're here, you were picked up in 19 CF 8877AO pursuant to a warrant, which probable cause was found for burglary of a structure and grand theft 3rd degree. And it appears you do not qualify for the public defender, so let me just go through the affidavit with you to make sure that it's accurate, okay? So, you work?
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly?
Weekly.
And how much do you get paid per week after taxes?
It'd be around like $8.25 or something like that. $8.25.
And do you have any children under the age of 18?
Yes.
How many?
2.
2 children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it says here 0, so you make around $8.25, so with 2 kids, you would not qualify? Huh? Okay, so you're still not gonna qualify even with me going through that with you. So I can't appoint them to represent you today. I'm gonna stay the bonds, 2,500 on count 1. I'm gonna reduce count 2 actually to 150, and you're not to return back to 2225 Metropolitan Way, number 1211, okay? You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. And then I did set your bonds. You think you'll be able to bond out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't see anything. There is nothing. Is there an out on bond? Okay, we don't have it.
I have a 19 CF 5896.
Okay, hold on. We might have to bring him back, because I don't have that.
They're bringing back, it's coming back in now.
Okay, what's,
2019 CF 5896. That case, state has not made a charging decision, it's a 424 arrest, it looks like, grand theft or resisting a merchant, but no decision.
right, I just don't know the date of offense. The date of arrest, it's a warrant, so I'm looking at the date of
I
offense.
have the affidavit for 424 and the arrest is 515.
So 4/11/19 is the date. All right, Mr. Warren, I'm not gonna take any action today on that case. But just so you know, if you keep getting arrested, it's probably gonna get revoked on both cases, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
Casey Cook.
Norman West. Okay.
Tierra Miller is pretrial release. Bernard Mahone is behavior.
Okay, we will reset Mr. Mahone. And you're Miss Cook?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, Miss Cook, you were picked up on an out-of-county warrant out of Lake County, and it appears as though your bond is set at none in that case. And Lake County has 24 hours to come and pick you up. That does not include, I believe, holidays or weekends, okay? So,
Okay.
we got a holiday tomorrow, and then, so maybe Friday, I don't know when they'll come and pick you up, okay?
So I don't get to go home to my little girl.
No, you have no bond, and I have no jurisdiction to change any bonds. I don't know anything about what happened in Lake County, okay?
It was supposed to be all.
Don't talk about it, but just so you're aware, it's all being recorded here, so I can't do anything about it. Sorry. All right, please tell me your name. Tell me your name, sir.
Todd Phillips.
All right, Mr. Phillip, you're here in 2019 CO 735. You were arrested for soliciting without a permit. I do find probable cause. You did not fill out a form for the public defender. Do you want to just see if the state had an offer for you to resolve your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
This is Mr. Phillip.
Yes.
Adjudication 3 days.
And he has credit for 2. And so I would have to impose court costs. So the state's, okay. You want to take the offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. want a plea no contest, Mr. Phillip?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm showing you this plea form. You gotta look at me. Look up. Is this your signature on the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes,
You understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes.
All right, I do find a factual basis based on the affidavit to accept your plea. I am gonna adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by July 3rd, 2020, okay? Gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment sent to the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, all right? Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, State.
All right, please tell me your name.
John Walter.
All right, Mr. Welter, you're here in 19 MO 1242. You were arrested for state misdemeanors. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defenders, well, you did not fill out a form. So do you wanna see if the state has an offer to resolve your case today?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Adjudication, 3 days, no return.
Credit for 1 day. So you would get out tomorrow, and I would have to impose court costs. So if you wanna accept the offer, you can. If not, I'm gonna stay the bond at the $250. Do we have a face sheet for him? Cause I'm like, none of my face sheets have any information. Thanks.
Okay, the state will amend their offer to 2 days with credit for 1 day.
So wait, so what's that, so, today?
Look it out today.
Later today.
Yes, please,
And he
ma'am.
doesn't have a hold out of Miami? Oh, okay, all right.
2 days.
Okay, so the state's offers 2 days with credit for 1 day. So you'll get out
I just wanna
today,
make
I
sure
just
it's-
don't know what time.
Okay, it's for us to sign something, you know what I'm saying? Alright. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Welcher, you want to plea no contest?
Yeah.
All right, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes,
Do you understand everything contained within the plea form?
yes, ma'am.
You understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation
No.
anywhere? Okay, just need to make sure. Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a factual basis to accept the plea. Based on the affidavit in the court file, I'm gonna adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. I have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by July 3rd, 2020. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Tony Jamalowitz.
All right, Mr. Jamalowitz, you're here in 2019 CF 9482AO. You're arrested for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the public defender. So it says that he was sleeping during the interview and they were unable to complete the interview. Was that ever able to be completed? And this is a correct face sheet? Okay.
Is that from yesterday when he came in with medical, or is that from today? My guess is he probably was detoxing or something yesterday, and that's the reason why he fell asleep, and so they didn't.
No, I know, I just didn't know if because by the time when I get these in the morning, I don't know what happens between then and now, and if they've interviewed him or qualified him, and, Mr. Jamalowitz, I'm gonna release you ROR. Listen to me very carefully.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to make sure that you keep in touch with the Office of the Public Defender,
Okay.
okay? You do not possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription.
All right.
And if your address changes or you have a contact phone number that changes, you need to make sure that your attorneys know that, okay?
Okay.
Because if you get notice or anything and you don't show up to court, if the state decides to file charges, then you're probably gonna be sitting on a no bond status, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't want that, you don't have a criminal history,
No.
okay? So you wanna probably keep it that way,
Yeah.
okay?
All right.
All right. All right, do we have any word back about the fingerprinting or no? For, is it Miss Anderson? No? Okay, so she'll be, dealt with tomorrow. Thank you, have a great 4th of July.